Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Group with today's DT Daily 3-minute update and trade strategy. Well, they're almost daily. I miss a day now and then, and they're almost 3 minutes. I usually run over half a minute or a minute or so, but I like to alert you to a relatively immediate or upcoming specific trade with low capital exposure, high probability outcome. And whether you trade the market that I talk about in these quick updates is take a listen to them anyway. They're pretty quick, but you're going to learn something that you can apply to whatever market, whatever time frame that you trade. Well, before we get started, I am going to talk about the euro and the dollar in the next few minutes. And I haven't talked about them in a while. I wanted to show you this. I do trade the euro consistently and constantly. Did pretty good trading last year. I've shown you this before. Here's this year up through a couple days ago, 65% return so far. The reason I show you this is most of the major trends I anticipated unfolding, especially these past few weeks, have not unfolded. So I basically been incorrect on the forecast, shall we say, but I keep making money. How is that? And that's because of trade strategies. So you got to decide, are you a forecaster or are you a trader? And if you're a trader, you may, for instance, be looking to trade what I would call a weekly trend. That's a trend that's going to last a few weeks. And it may end up only being a daily trend, a trend that lasts a few days. But if you have good trade strategies and you can quickly advance your stop, you're going to end up making a little money, even though it doesn't pan out to be as much of a trend as anticipated. So trade strategies are the key to successful trading. Okay, let's get started and take a look at the euro and the dollar. Well, this is the dollar weekly data. And several weeks ago, I anticipated that we had probably made a multi-month top, a major top, and we're going to have a major bear trend begin before too long. Well, where are we a month later from that? We're just exactly sideways. We've had these weekly trends all this year. It's a couple weeks up, couple weeks down, that sort of thing, with a net bullish bias. And then we did have a much longer bull trend here for a few weeks from March into April. But here we are a month later, and we haven't latched on to any consistent trend. The weekly momentum's bearish. That usually indicates we're going to resolve this area bearish in a bearish trend, but boy, look at last week, big outside up week closing near the high. So right now, until we break away from this whole area, while I got a slight bias, shall we say, that this top in April was a very significant top, I'm just looking to trade kind of short term. Short term for me is several days. Trades last several days until we break away and establish a significant trend. And again, if I had to be a forecaster, I'd say very soon the dollar is going to start a major bear trend, but not all the technical evidence suggests that. So let's just trade it. Here we are on the daily data for the dollar. Daily momentum reached overbought. We've got some time factors. I'm not showing them all, but over the last several months, every 15 to 18 trading days, we've had a daily reversal. We call that a reversal cycle. Not all necessarily high to highs, but next Wednesday the 22nd is day 18, and of course this last Friday was day 15. So we're in a position to complete at least a daily high, and that's reinforced by the fact that the daily momentum is overbought. So I'm looking for any opportunity on a reversal to position short in the dollar or long in the euro. Let's take a look at the euro. That's the one I actually trade. The euro, again, anticipated the back of this April low. That was a major low. It would be a multi-month low, and the euro would be sideways up into at least the end of May. Well, that hasn't been voided yet, and the euro's weekly momentum is bullish. But boy, look at this. It's just chopped back and forth. Hasn't been reaching overbought or oversold. So as I told our DT Reports subscribers in the more comprehensive and detailed video, is I'm just ignoring this weekly momentum right now because it's not cycling in a useful manner. So I'm just looking right now at daily trends again to see how we break away from this. Here's the euro on the daily. The daily closed below this closing low this past week, which is avoided as strong a bullish outlook as we had. But regardless, as soon as it makes the next daily momentum bull reversal, which it should within the next couple of trading days, it's going to be a good trade on the long side. It's just how significant a low is that going to be? Is it going to be just a daily low, or is it going to be a weekly low? Well, given the potential that any daily low can be a weekly low, I always want to position on the long side when we get near extremes. So the daily momentum's oversold. That indicates we're within 2 or 3 days of a daily low. Here's all of our time factors that stretch from May 16th, that would be this past Thursday, into next Wednesday. They're not all focused on a single period of time, but we know that Wednesday should be the maximum before we complete a daily low, and that's based on the 15 to 18 trading day low to lows, well, reversal cycles really, most of them have been lows that we've had for several months. So we've already reached day 14, and the furthest out, day 18, is next Wednesday. So any reversal signal that we have is a great setup for a long trade, just not so sure anymore if it's going to be a significant weekly trend as opposed to just a daily trend. But that's how I make money consistently trading the euro, is I get on the right side of the market for a daily trend and then assess it as it develops to see if it's going to work into a weekly trend where I can add more positions as the trend develops. But we can see in this last week, or excuse me, the last month or so, it's nothing. We got a few days up, a few days down, a few up, down. Had a significant decline here, and I caught most of that, frankly, on the short side. But it just didn't continue in either direction. So let's look at this over the next couple, 3 days. We're going to have a euro low, dollar high, good tradable setup, and we want to position for that in the event that it continues on to be a higher time frame trend. That's it for today. I hope if you like what you learned, you'll check out our DT reports where we follow up on these markets every day, so you're kept up to date on any signals made during any day. Take care.